Hey, welcome to Digging into the Bible. My name is Jim Barnard. This is a production of Tiller Coaching. Okay, it's day 65. So good to be with you. Yesterday we left things with Paul being in the midst of a mob and things getting pretty real for him in Jerusalem. They're out for blood. He's been given the opportunity to speak to the crowd because he's a Roman citizen and he's afforded that right. And so he's making the most of this opportunity, going to speak in the Hebrew language. And with that as the backdrop, let's go ahead and dig in. This is Acts chapter 22, starting at verse 1. Brothers and fathers, hear the defense that I now make before you. And when they heard he was addressing them in the Hebrew language, they became even more quiet. And he said, I am a Jew, born in Tarsus in Cilicia, but brought up in this city, educated at the feet of Gamaliel, according to the strict manner of the law of our fathers, being zealous for God, as all of you are this day. I persecuted this way to the death, binding and delivering to prison both men and women, as the high priest and the whole council of elders can bear me witness. From them I received letters to the brothers, and I journeyed toward Damascus to take those who were there and bring them in bonds to Jerusalem to be punished. As I was on my way and drew near to Damascus, about noon a great light from heaven suddenly shone around me. And I fell to the ground and heard a voice saying to me, Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me? And I answered, Who are you, Lord? And he said to me, I am Jesus of Nazareth, whom you are persecuting. Now those who were with me saw the light, but did not understand the voice of the one who was speaking to me. And I said, What shall I do, Lord? And the Lord said to me, Rise and go into Damascus, and there you will be told that all that is appointed for you to do. And since I could not see because of the brightness of that light, I was led by the hand by those who were with me and came into Damascus. And one Ananias, a devout man according to the law, well spoken of by all the Jews who lived there, came to me and standing by me said to me, Brother Saul, receive your sight. And at that very hour I received my sight and saw him. And he said, The God of our fathers appointed you to know his will, to see the righteous one and to hear a voice from his mouth. For you will be witness for him to every one of what you have seen and heard. And now why do you wait? Rise and be baptized and wash away your sins, calling on his name. All right, so that's where we're going to stop. There's obviously more. Paul has not landed the plane on his defense, but really what's happening here is he's sharing his story. Yes, it's a good defense, but also it's good evangelism. Our stories are so important. Paul has experienced real transformation. Like, it's undeniable, the transformation. Like, he used to be on that side of things. Like, he wasn't just part of the mob. He was like leading the mob. He was holding everyone's cloaks and making sure it could happen. And he was very instrumental in stopping the way to end this movement. And isn't it interesting? Like, he is so much of a zealot. We learned here that he studied under Gamaliel, who apparently was also a zealot and worked to persecute the way. But isn't it interesting? We saw earlier in Acts how Gamaliel made this beautiful statement. Do you see my reference there? Like, I made this Gamaliel Yagamiel thing. Beautiful. It's a whole thing. If you didn't watch that episode, that's fine. But anyways, he makes this beautiful statement of saying that, we should not be concerned about the way, because either it's false and it's going to fizzle out, or it is actually of God, and we will be found opposing God if we try to stop it. So even this like heroic zealot, this Pharisee of Pharisees, has drawn that conclusion himself. Now, Paul is basically admitting he's not wise enough to come up with that conclusion himself. He is continuing on, and he's headed to Damascus to cause some damage to the way. And it took him having a direct interaction with Jesus before he could begin to understand. And so what Paul is doing here is sharing his story of transformation. See, stories are our greatest tool in relationships, our greatest tool for defense, our greatest tool for evangelism. And Paul is doing all of this. Paul is obviously making a defense, but he's also hoping to evangelize to this crowd. He wants them to have a real experience with Jesus the same way he had a real experience with Jesus. This is vital for him. It might not work, but the story is worth sharing. And we will see that Paul will share it more times before we get to the end of Acts. We only have a few more weeks left, so there's not much more time, but him sharing his story is vitally important, and so he is taking this opportunity. Thank goodness he was a Roman citizen and has this opportunity afforded to him. All right, well, I'll stop there. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I will see you tomorrow as we continue on with Paul's defense in Acts chapter 22. I will see you then.